Welcome to our Capital Recovery Center, where we focus on two key concepts. How can we help you with your recovery today, and what does recovery mean to you? Tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. to our Coffee and Conversation meeting and Thursdays at 1 p.m. to our All Recovery meeting. For updated information, follow our Capital Recovery Center Facebook page.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Coffee and Conversation. We have a special Coffee and Conversation today. But before we get to it, we have an open house today from 5 p.m. to 8. Everyone is welcome to come in. We are at 72 North Pearl Street in Bridgeton. Please come join us. We have a couple of snacks, some food, and we have prepared an activity for anyone who would like to stop by. And so I guess I'd hand the mic over to Mike.
Welcome everybody for Coffee and Conversation. As always, y'all know we do the recovery spotlight. When we do the recovery spotlight, that is, so we spotlight someone who has been successful in their recovery walk every first Friday of the month. So every month we have somebody that we would like to let individuals see their success. So this particular month, we had the opportunity to have our Spotlight Recovery to be a part of the Coffee and Conversation today. And also we have one of our other recovery coaches, Ms. Karen Hendricks, also going to be a part of the show. So we're just going to add some brief questions and let Ms. Lauren and Karen share from the experiences that they both have. So welcome, Miss Lauren. So we want to welcome her to our broadcast today here at Capital Recovery Center, and also one of our recovery coaches, Miss Karen. So we have both of them joining us today, and I am so excited about it because there's a good opportunity for other individuals to hear different perspective or different situations where as though the family dynamic and people have mentors and coaches come alongside individuals and everything. So first and foremost, we want to welcome Miss Lauren. Can you say hi to the crowd?
Hi.
So also Miss Karen, you want to say hi?
Hey guys.
All right, so first we want to know, how do y'all two know each other?
I'll start. So, let me just go into a brief thing. I'm Lauren Hepner. I am originally from Vineland, New Jersey. I currently live in Hillsborough, Ohio. I know Miss Karen, for many years now. I originally met her through Bobby Bledsoe's program, the Freedom Homes, which is located in Millville, New Jersey. I was there for a short while. My stay was not long there. And then it seems like every time something bad had happened, overdoses, visits to the hospital, not so good things that have happened. Karen's always been there, but my last real encounter I had with her was actually the day before I was leaving for a long-term treatment in Cresco, Iowa, and I was at the welfare office closing my food stamps out and my health insurance because I didn't need that. I was going to long-term treatment. And she happened to be in there. So that is the day that her and my mom officially had met. My mom had often heard about my angel Karen. She had never came face to face with her until that day at the welfare office. And then I guess she still kind of stayed in contact with you guys in a sense. Even though I have had a significant amount of time. So Karen, I think I touched everything, but maybe you have something I may have forgotten.
I don't remember this, but I think when I had met you at the Freedom Home Bible study, you had remembered me as a recovery specialist going bedside with you on an overdose call. And I remember you had looked at me really, really like, I don't know, it was an odd look, and you had said that you had remembered me. I think you were very nasty with me too in the hospital, but I didn't remember that. But I think that was our first encounter.
I do
Was
believe
that the only program, the last program you went to?
No, the freedom. Well, listen, this girl has done 30, 60, 90-day programs time and time and time again, have collected multiple key tags and have recollected them over and over again. The Freedom Homes was the one that I had done. I think, honestly, now looking back, it was God's way of preparing me for this long-term treatment that I was getting ready to do with Mission Teens.
Nice.
And as far what I mean by that is the devotions, the going to church, the finding out who God was, and that He really did love me despite of everything I had done, or the good and the bad, you know, the way I was and the wickedness I had inside of me and the hatred I had for everybody else. But it came to me a little bit in the Freedom Homes, but more so in Mission Teens, that God really did love me or does love me and never left my side despite 22 years of addiction. I left Him. I walked away from Him. So yeah, Karen, actually it was in the house in Millville. No, I'm wrong. It was Minatola. We were doing a Bible study and I saw you and I was like, oh, that's that woman that tried saving my life. But I came to realize that God sends people into your life for a reason. Maybe just for a reason in a season. It may be numerous times. We had to have a couple encounters for us to finally be where we are today. And that's me 3.5 years sober and us doing this connection together to try to reach out to people who are still struggling within the community still. So now we're on the other end of it.
What do you think was the catalyst for changing your life? What you think? Like, I know you went through different programs and everything, but in my own personal life, I have literally the same thing you said, 22 years of struggling with addiction. But one of the catalysts was for me to actually go through the process of the change. I remember standing on the corner one day, and my wife usually go look for me when I was out there getting high to try to help me. She'll be riding around looking for me. And I seen her at a red light, and she looked at me, looked this way, looked at me again, and pulled off. I thought that was a catalyst, but she didn't recognize me. That's how much my features changed. She was looking for me, but she didn't know that that was me. And that was the catalyst for me to say, oh, that's it. I got it. What you think was your catalyst to say, this is it, I got to do something?
Well, I had multiple things happen to me with just in a week to 2 week span. We'll start off by saying that I was homeless on the streets, selling myself for just to get that next fix, I remember in front of East Landis Motel, a motel that I grew up a block from, and always said, oh God, those people there, they're druggies, they're nasty, they're this, they're that. I wound up being one of them. But I was digging out of a trash can right up in that corner area. And I remember my mom riding by me and honking the horn and keep on going. And I'm like, man, she really doesn't love me. Man, how could a mother do this? I know I wouldn't do this to my son, so on and so forth. But that's the tough love my mom had to give me. And she has now made it clear that, Lauren, you think at that next street light on 7th and Landis, I didn't stop and say, God help her, be with her, and I can actually let my foot up off the brake. She said, I sat there and just cried and cried. That was just one of the things. I had an overdose, shot up in across the street from the post office and got down to East Landis Motel, and there I was, overdosed in that parking lot, that same parking lot that I'm talking about. But the final draw was I had nothing left, no family. My mom said, Lauren, you're not coming here to get a shower. I don't care if you walk around town with raunchy underwear and stink in the high heavens, and I'm not giving you any more food, no money, no nothing. I didn't have my son anymore, who was, 9 at that time. I didn't have, actually, I'm lying, 10. I didn't have that. I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing left. And I remember going to my mom's house and wanting to tell my mom that I had just shot this stuff up, no longer in between my toes, in between my groin, in my arms. It went straight to the head, right in this vein. I just wanted to die, and I wanted to tell her that, and I was going to reach out to her, try to get her, her attention, like, Mom, I really do need this help. And she said, Lauren, I don't have time for this now. And it's not that she didn't have time for me. It was always a new song and dance with her. Mom, I want, Mom, I want, Mom, I want. And she just had to give me that tough love. But that day, I praise God for that day. And I praise God for all the trials and tribulations I've been put through this whole entire time, because it made me open my eyes. But I got down to Myrtle and Landis, right across from Sacred Heart Church. And something told me to go back. And I know what that something is. It was God. I went in my mom's backyard. I wasn't supposed to be on her property. And I said, on my knees, God, if you're real, like they say, get me out of this city. Get me out. I can't do this anymore. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm done. I won't die. For some reason, you're keeping me. I don't care if you put me in the cornfields. Just get me out. Well, let's just say the following day, my sister, who hadn't talked to her, and I weren't talking for about 3 years after our dad passed, reached out to me, and she said something woke her up. It was God. Yeah. God had all his hand in through all of this, orchestrated all this. But she reached out to me, and I told her, I said, I think it's time. I think it's time. I can't do this anymore. And she said, I know of a place that will help you. And that was Mission Teens. Nice. So I told her, I'll come stay with you tomorrow and start detoxing, because it was always later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get clean tomorrow. That would have been never if the guy that I was running with, him and I were staying on my mom's front porch. And if this situation didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be here. I probably wouldn't have went and got help. But he got upset because I told him my sister reached out to me, and I think I'm ready to get help. And either you're going to ride with me or not. I was that ride or die girl. Either you're going to ride or you're going to die off and be elsewhere. Yeah. He got angry and he choked me, and I kept saying, you don't want to do this. Please don't make me do this. You don't want to do this. And Let's just say if it wasn't for my mom's surveillance cameras that night, I would have been the one going to jail, because I did wind up beating the crap out of him and putting him to sleep on my mom's front porch. But the cops actually saw that he had put his hands on me first, and I was just defending myself, like every other relationship I had been in, where it was like, that was the final draw. That put the icing on the cake for me. So that night I went to my sister's, detox for 5 days, and then I was on my way to Cresco, Iowa, and I looked down out of that plane and I said, oh man, I'm in cornfields and 7 foot of snow. I can't run. There's no more running with me. And I did 4.5 months there, and I still had a lot of anger issues. Woman decided to say something about my deceased father and my behavior and how I would never get my son back, and I was going to hurt her. So it was either Lauren goes back to New Jersey or Lauren transfers. So I knew I didn't have any place to go in New Jersey but the streets, back to the streets. And I already had 4.5 months clean. I'm going to keep this journey. Yeah. So I transferred here to Hillsboro, Ohio. And when they picked me up, I was in the back seat, cracking up, laughing again. This lady says, honey, are you okay? What are you laughing at? And I said, God answered my prayers again. I'm back in the cornfields. I graduated the program, went home, and came back to the cornfields. Only this time I lived across the street from the cornfield. So I have made a forever home here. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot calmer, slower pace, more peaceful.
You needed that.
I needed that because it was always chaos, and I was just wild completely. So I needed.
How's your relationship with your kids now?
Say that again.
How's your relationship with your children?
Well, my 16-year-old son, he's now 16, Michael, he still lives in New Jersey. Very good relationship for the most part. You know, there's still a little jealousy, still a little resentment. There's some trust issues still, but it took me a while. I have to sit and I have to remember how long it took me to rebuild trust.
That's right.
For me to build relationships back and not hold resentments. And, you know, it's hard for me as an adult, let alone a teenager. Yeah. I now have a 16-month-old miracle baby I wasn't supposed to have anymore because of my past. And big news, which wasn't on my recovery spotlight, but 2 Sundays ago, my fiance said, July 17th, 2022, we're getting married. Even though we were engaged, we're getting married, right? And I said, let's do this. So I have had a total of 51 days. I have 40 days and 40 nights from this point on to plan for a wedding. Nice. So
that's exciting.
Yes.
That's awesome, because all the time when people, I know personally, when people go through the transformation, I tell people all the time, just take it slow because it's a process. One of the things that I often wanted was to repair my relationship with my children, and I know that takes time. So that's why I asked you about your children, because there are a lot of individuals who are on the recovery process, and they're in the tug of war area with their relationship with their children. But you said it takes some trust. It's all of that has to be developed during the process. And then you said a lot of good stuff, because you said you have to understand I had to take time in my situation with trust, and I'm an adult. So you got to understand a child, you got to give them a little bit more rope to develop in that area. So that's good. Hey, Miss Karen, what keeps you to keep reaching out to people who you see the first time you talk to them, they seem like they don't get it. You go back, you see them again. What keeps you going to help individuals like that?
I think it's just planting seeds. I've just had such a passion and a compassion for the people in the streets, even when I was a teenager, just planting seeds in people's lives. And 20 years later, I'm seeing, I just keep it moving, and I just keep doing what God tells me to do. And people will come to me 20 years later and say, you said this and you did this, and I don't even remember the things that I've said, just being obedient to the voice of the Spirit. It's just seeing miracles like Lauren take place.
Yeah.
And there's many in my life that I just see, and it's just very, very encouraging. Very encouraging.
Hey, Miss Karen, just so nobody don't know, Miss Karen, me and Miss Karen went out Saturday to a Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, we went out Saturday. She the real deal. She don't just do it for money. She do it. That's how I am. It's a lifestyle to me. I do this every day for real, like all day long. This is what I do. Try to reach out to, show my life and show individuals about the goodness of God.
Yes.
So, Miss Lauren, everybody usually have like a mantra. Mine's is anywhere but backwards, or a motto, or something like that, or a slogan. Do you have any type of slogan that you hold on to?
Live life to the fullest, because tomorrow is never promised. And also, my stand on scriptures, I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Because without his strength, I couldn't do it.
That's right.
I'm a weak soul.
That's good. That's good, because everybody has something that they stand on. Also, when you was in the program, did you make any relationships with people who are still doing well after the mission teams? Did you connect with anybody who's continuing on in their recovery?
Oh yeah, I met a girl. Well, mainly the ones who are I went through mission teams in Hillsborough with. One of them is actually a teacher out at the mission here. I also met a girl named Amy from Michigan, who has also made a life here in Hillsborough. There's a couple people that I have really kept a relationship, but I literally live 5 minutes from mission teams, and I am a big donator towards them because they are a nonprofit organization. So they were super excited about getting their garden planted, the tomatoes and the pepper, even though I had to tell them not like Jersey tomato.
Yeah.
But I had to, I brought out some plants and donate and stuff like that. So, and I'm actually working with a church right now who they're getting ready to do kind of like, they're getting ideas and stuff, but they are really interested in doing some street ministry and handing out like bag lunches and that type of thing. And I had explained to them that that was a big thing for me when I was on the streets. Yeah. Having, number one, people come and just sit down and talk with you, but more so, and I still to this day have the pair of Nike Air Maxes. Like I said, I was barefooted, and I still to this day have that pair of Nike Air Maxes that Kathy Barrett had gave me when she had handed me a bag lunch and was ministering to me, and give me a pair of shoes all in one, short visit that you really don't. I mean, they knew what they were doing. They're just following God's voice, like Karen had said. But you just don't know how much it means to somebody that's struggling at that very given time. Even a bag lunch I'm surprised I didn't catch more charges, theft charges for stealing a bag of goldfish at Wawa, or, you know, stuff like that, just to fill my stomach. So yeah, I have some really good relationships still as far as my treatment.
So one of the things, like you was talking about, I was going to ask you what motivates you to help others, because everybody that goes through the process of having their life change don't necessarily go back and try to help you know what I'm saying? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know, because some people don't go back because that's their trigger. Like it might trigger them to go, you know, but your motivation, you still remember how people reached out to you, and you have that in your heart. Nobody will ever be able to take that from you. And that's good that you are motivated to go back and try to help inspire other individuals, because no matter what, you can't, people only understand when you get in those situations. And like you said, you remember seeing individuals and saying, oh, who these people were and what they were doing. And then you ended up like them. So now you actually have more motivation. Like, I didn't think forever would I ever be in that situation. And I ended up in that situation. Yeah. So you know that the people who are out there came from something. You know what I mean? They might not be in that place now, but that's good that you keep that motivation to go back. Just like Miss Karen, like all of us, we have motivation to help individuals in those areas, and you can't fake that motivation. And more importantly, when you go reach out to people like you're doing or going to plan on doing, people going to see your sincerity. They're going to smell it a mile away, like, we know you really care about us. That's how it works. Did you have any more, anything else you wanted to share that I didn't ask?
No, I think I got it all. I just hope my story and me sharing and even planting that seed could help somebody else.
It will.
Yeah. I always wondered why God had saved me time and time and time again, overdose after overdose, and now I see, like, you know what it was? It was for me to share my story. It was for me to plant that seed. It was for me to be an angel to this little baby. It was for me to be a wife to a man who is or soon to be wife to a man who is also in recovery, who was also struggling, just like I was, you know. Yeah. So I hope my little 2 cents helps somebody else. Hopefully.
No, I know for a fact it will, because a person might have come across this video when nobody is telling them to watch the video. And that's how it worked with me. I would be just going through my phone and be like, looking around like, is this person around me? Because they talking to me. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Is he in the how? So I know that for a fact what you're saying is going to help individuals. I'll tell you, I was just watching your reading your comments on the recovery spotlight. You got so many comments, I couldn't even keep up with all of them. It's so many different great things that people are saying, and people who haven't seen you, and they was like, oh my God, I didn't see her. You know, I wonder what. And it's just to see how powerful that was. Some of them was brought to tears. They was like, oh man, I can't believe it. Then some of them mentioned God. You know, it was just so much that you never know how powerful you are until you start to walk in what God really truly called you to do. So I'm proud of you. Continue to walk in your success. Karen, I really appreciate working with you, and keep that heart that you have to reach out to individuals. Remember, we always planting and we always sowing, but God will get an increase. It's just awesome that when we see one person that was successful, that we was able to be a part of it, it gives us motivation to continue doing what we're doing, in spite of seeing other individuals suffer overdose, obviously. and lose their lives to the same thing that we see somebody successful at. So again, for both of y'all, thank y'all for being on. Ms. Lauren, again, we really are happy that you are our recovery spotlight for this month.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. I just want to say one more thing that I never, let me go back. I never felt important. So to hear somebody say to me, and hopefully my words now, maybe someone will hear this. I want whoever, and I don't know why I'm even saying this, but I want whoever to know that you are important and you do mean something in this world.
That's right.
I never felt that way. And to hear somebody say that to me one time was like, wow, that is touching. I never felt that way, you know. So hopefully somebody heard that and could use that little bit of encouragement today.
Miss Karen, what else you got? Give us some parting words.
I don't know. Just that there's always hope. As long as there's breath in someone, there's always hope. I just, I see so many people at the Wawas, wherever I go, I'm just always just planting seeds, and just no matter how bad they look, that there's always hope. Never give up on them.
Never.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, if you are an individual who has been reaching out for some, or have been trying to get somebody some type of substance abuse help, try one more time. I know you probably tired of helping them. You probably said, I'm tired of going and calling for programs and everything. But I want you, or I implore you to try one more time. If you reach out to them one more time, that might possibly be the time that they totally change their lives. So if you're listening and you are a loved one and you have been helping someone and you are physically exhausted, I understand. You probably are, but try one more time to get them some help, and prayerfully they will turn their lives around as well. Again, thank all of y'all for tuning into the Coffee and Conversation. Thank you, Ms. Karen. Thank you, Ms. Lauren. And
Thank you for having me.
Guys soon.